elementary school, and I've spent most of my career working with children as a licensed social worker. Statistics tell us that 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 2 boys are victims of child sexual abuse, with children most vulnerable between ages 7 to 13. According to our most comprehensive report conducted by the American Association of University Women and published by the Department of Education in 2004, nearly 10% of K-12 students have been victims of sexual misconduct by a public school employee. To believe it cannot happen and does not happen in Maine public schools is to be willfully ignorant. Any institution that assumes the responsibility of caring for children is a natural target for adults with ill intentions. These adults with ill intent can use public schools as an avenue to their intended target, with explicit materials right at their fingertips to facilitate the exploitation of our most vulnerable citizens, all while being protected by an obscenity exemption statute that Maine law adopted in the 70s. If I were to stand across the street from a public school and hand out some of the materials, these same materials, I would likely be arrested. Children cannot always discern right from wrong, and carefully chosen material can be used by adults to exploit vulnerable children for sexual abuse. Today, we often find our public schools becoming an arm for supplying erotically stimulating content to the immature brains, bodies, and memories of our children, ultimately rewiring their brains, affecting their worldview and how they perceive themselves and others. Students who are exposed to sexually explicit materials have a higher chance of harassing fellow students. And sexual harassment between students has become increasingly prevalent in public schools. Children that are victims of sexual abuse and exploitation carry trauma within their psyche. Viewing sexually explicit content can reawaken their trauma and, in essence, re-traumatize them. Easy access to pornography and sexually explicit content is already worrisome and concerning for parents. We are tasked with monitoring our children's access to content that can harm them on a daily basis. But we should never have to be concerned about them accessing this material at school. Neither children or their parents are capable of giving informed consent to the unknown short and long-term effects of premature exposure to sexual stimuli. More importantly, parents are not even given the opportunity to consent to the materials, and there's no age-appropriate content standards to inform parents of the objectionable and even dangerous content to which their children are being exposed. Parents have been unable to protect their children from obscene materials in school by simply opting out, leaving students even more susceptible to exploitation and abuse from other students and adults. The fact is, many American public schools have been hunting grounds for sexual predators, and those of us who are fearful about abuse in schools are not in some kind of moral panic. We're using our intuition to assess a real danger to our children. To set age-appropriate standards on the content we invite in our children's schools is basic. The sexualization of children is a moral crisis in today's society, and they are being sensitized to sex and violence at the hands of adults who are supposed to protect them. Schools should be the one place, if not any other, that children can go to without explicit, violent, or pornographic content being thrust upon them as education. I will be followed by Josh Henderson. Thank you.